Thank you very much for attending. It is wonderful to see how many residents are here today for this board meeting. Before we start, I will read a statement. Our HOA is committed to maintaining a positive and respectful community where discussions remain constructive and productive. To ensure effective meetings, I ask everyone come prepared, keep discussions focused, and avoid unnecessary drama. Our HOA is committed to fostering a positive and collaborative community where all voices are heard and treated with civility. The HOA does not operate a social media platform for official discussions. Statements made on these platforms do not represent the board and will not be addressed in meetings. Our discussions should remain centered on matters directly impacting our community through the proper channels. Disrespectfulness or vulgar language toward board members, HOA administration, or members of our community will not be tolerated. If a member engages in disruptive behavior, the meeting will be paused and they will receive a warning. If the behavior continues, they will be asked to leave. If they refuse, the meeting will be adjourned. These measures ensure a professional and respectful environment for all of us. For suggestions, recommendations, or complaints, please contact the general manager, board president, or appropriate committee chairperson. Decisions take time and careful review. Please allow the system to work as intended so each matter receives proper consideration. By working together in a respectful and organized manner, we can build a strong and well-functioning community. Thank you. At this time, I would like to allow our homeowners for comment. Our first up is Kevin Nielsen. Could you please come forward, state your name and your community in which you reside.
Kevin Nielsen, Ironwood Estates.
Is it switch up?
It's on.
The lights
Can't
on.
hear him.
Testing.
There you go. You just gotta get close to it. Yeah.
This is a non-denominational take on the town hall that we just held, not the subject, the town hall process itself. It was a big disappointment for me. Having listened to board candidates promise transparency the last two elections, this meeting was anything but. It became obvious as the first overhead graphic was displayed detailing how long the issue had been under consideration by the board, that this was nothing but a sales job. When the obviously solicited letters from an insurance salesman and a lawyer were presented, all pretense of town hall was gone. Holding these letters for over 3 months before springing them on us at a town hall is not transparency. The issue is not how the board votes or the subject of the town hall. It's the upside-down process of cementing a decision, building a defense against any opposition, pretending to listen to those affected at a town hall, and then moving forward with the predetermined result. Soon we will have 2 new board members. You will move from your seats back here with your neighbors up to the front. I don't expect you to always vote the way I would prefer. Nobody's that smart. Just include our input and never withhold anything from us or try to manipulate us in any way, please.
Thank you, Kevin. Next up is Nancy Millard.
Good morning. I'm going to make a
few comments about the upcoming election.
Name and subdivision, please.
Oh, sorry, Nancy Millard, Oakmont Heights.
Thank you.
Okay, I'd like to talk to you about the upcoming, can you all hear me?
Yeah.
The upcoming HOA board election. So I don't know about you, but I value my vote in any election. I would like to think that all the candidates in some way have earned my vote. These past 2 years, I volunteered to be a proxy for the HOA board elections. What I saw was that for all the volunteers, and there were many of them who put time and many, many hours in, they all felt the same way, that definitely they wanted their votes to be valued. However, with Marcy's decision not to run for the board, we are left with 4 candidates and 4 positions. In my book, that's not really an election to earn my vote. That's an election by default. Maybe we should make this a race that's more competitive. So I'm asking you today to consider and approve write-in candidates for this election and all future elections. I checked our founding documents, the bylaws, the CC&Rs, and they're silent on write-in candidates, meaning you, the board, has the power to do this. Under Arizona nonprofit corporate law, courts have held that silence equals permission, unless the documents restrict the right. So our bylaws, Article 3, Section 7, describes 1, how to vote, cumulative voting, proxy voting, ballot procedures. Nowhere does it state that only listed candidates may be voted on, and that write-in candidates are not permitted. Eligibility requirements are quite simple. Under Article 4, Section 1, it requires only that a director be a member at the time of the election and be elected by the members. There is no requirement that a candidate must appear on a pre-printed ballot. I've also checked the online voting services, similar to the ones that we have, and they all allow for write-in candidates, so there shouldn't be a problem. Please consider the information I provided you and open up the upcoming election and allow write-in candidates. It certainly is within your power to do so. Make this a meaningful election where all members vote and our votes are earned by the candidates themselves. One where we get to exercise our most important and precious right. Thank you.
Next up, Kathy Carter.
Hi, good morning. I'm Kathy Carter from Willow Ridge, and I just have a question about, we have an upcoming town hall on the guest policy, and I was wondering if the guest policy agenda item is going to be on the April agenda. So I just wondered if you know that yet. Thank you.
I can say I do not know that it's going to be on the April agenda at this point.
I believe so.
We believe so, but that's not much of an answer for you.
Right.
Next up, Joy Graves.
Joy Groves at St. Andrew's Place.
Can you pull the mic down? Just, there you go, thank you.
Got me?
Yeah, get closer.
Okay,
Get closer.
get closer. Okay. Well, this is about the elections and about a president leaving and about the multiple people that are board members on various committees. I think that we need to change some of our policies and have a limitation on how many positions a board member can have on different committees. I think we all need to, because a vacancy happened when this one person left because she was on so many committees. And I don't think that I think the board should be limited to maybe 2 committees, or, one is chair and one is maybe another member. But I think we need more input from the committees. And I think all of you here need to apply when we have the new board turnaround, that you need to be applying for committees, so we have more input on those committees than just a duplication of the board on those committees. Because I think it's a very controlling thing, and I hate to see it, because it's destroying our community.
Thank you. Lynette, I'm going to ask that this is an agendized item that you want to discuss, correct? I would ask that you wait until this topic comes up during the meeting. Is that fair? Okay, thank you. With that said, would we all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you again for your attendance. I will now call this meeting to order. Mr. Davis, would you confirm our quorum?
Pursuant to Article 4, Section 7 of the bylaws.
Mr. Davis, pull that thing to your face, will you? Thank you. Much better.
I'm shoving it in my face.
Thank you.
Nice. Pursuant to Article 4, Section 7 of the bylaws of Westbrook Village, quorum is 1/2 of the number of the directors then serving shall constitute a quorum at the meeting of the board. There are 6 directors on the Westbrook Village Board at this time. 4 directors must be present to meet the quorum requirements. We have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Review, correction, and approval of last month's meeting.
Bruce?
Yes.
Are you going to introduce Jessica?
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like at this time to acknowledge the presence of Westbrook Village's council, Jessica Maseko. Thank you for coming, Jessica. We appreciate you being here. Now, we will go on to review, correction, and approval of the minutes. I will entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve.
I move we accept the minutes as.
Joe, did you make the motion?
Okay. Will everybody speak into the mic, because Joe's is not working.
Hello?
Tom, can you come and look at this?
Hello?
Test. Can you hear that?
Okay, board members, I think it's best that we put these in our hand and bring them as close to your mouth as you can so everybody can hear. That would be appreciated. I don't think you reach very far. Okay? So Mr. Bernier made the motion, and I assume, Max, that was what you were trying to get in, was a second?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Any comments? Changes? Corrections? Everybody's silent, so with that I will say I will call this to a vote. All those in favor of approving the minutes for last month, please raise your hand. Motion passes unanimously. Next item, treasurer's report. That would be me. This report is for the month ending December 31st, 2025. The general operating fund is designed to support the day-to-day operations of Westbrook Village Association. As of December 31st, 2025, this fund holds a cash balance of $2,678,246. For reference, this amount includes over $1 million prepaid homeowner assessments for the year 2026. This amount includes certificates of deposit providing a strong financial foundation for the association's ongoing needs. For this fiscal year, the association, for the 2025 fiscal year, the association anticipates total revenue of $3,482,865. Of this, $3,111,969 is projected to be derived from member assessments, highlighting the importance of member contributions in sustaining association activities. In December, the association received total revenue of $285,838. During that same period, total operating expenses amounted to $281,004. The Replacement Reserve Fund is established to finance major repairs, equipment replacements, capital improvements throughout Westbrook Village. As of December 31st, 2025, the reserve fund balance is at $4,866,380. This fund is supported by proceeds generated from home sales and preservation fees collected during those transactions. In December, there were 16 home resales within the community, with preservation fees waived for 3 of these transactions. From January 1st through December 31st, there have been a total of 198 home resales, and preservation fees were waived on 28 of these cases. The good news here is that our 2025 budget for a reserve fund was based on sales of 150 homes. Our actual was 170, generating additional income from the 20 home sales for 2025. For the fiscal year 2025, the association budgeted $1,219,050 in expenditures from the Replacement Reserve Fund. To date, $740,354 of this budget have been utilized. These expenditures have supported several planned projects, including perimeter wall repair and painting, HVAC system replacement, resurfacing the RV lot complex. The remaining budgeted items are earmarked for upcoming projects such as the gym refurbishment, installation of perimeter fencing around the pickleball courts, professional services for long-range planning, and a variety of routine infrastructural repairs and replacements. All financial statements are available for review at Westbrook Village Association Administrative Office. For questions or to schedule an appointment, please contact the office, and the number is there. Thank you very much.
I make a motion that we approve this report pending audit.
I second. I second. I second.
Thank you. Any discussion amongst our board members? Questions? With that said, I will call this to a vote. All those in favor of approving this budget for the month of December, including the upcoming audit that will occur, please raise your hands. Any opposed? That motion passes. Thank you. Unfinished business, facilities usage reports, page 19 to 21. As you can see, our village has gotten busy. And this is a good thing. Any comments, questions? Are we good?
Go back to the first page, please.
Can we go back to the first page, please?
Lakes, what page? Lakes,
Lakes Recreation Center.
page 19. There you go. Is that what you wanted, John?
Yeah, thanks.
Yes, sir.
Are these taken from the check-ins? Swipe?
Correct. He asked if these come from people swiping in, and that is correct, and that is the only way we can obtain this data.
Being a euchre player, I'm not exact, 27 players.
Can you come up to the microphone, please, if you have a comment?
My name's John Long, with Country Club Estate.
You have to pull that mic up to your face, thank you. All right. There you go.
As a euchre player, and the thought that's going around about the validity of the swiping machine, you got euchre 27 people in January 26, and we meet twice a month, and that would mean 13 players per Wednesday night, and that's not happening, so I don't know where the validity of this is.
Did you say 13 players and you meet twice a month?
Well, that says 27.
So that equation works.
No, I mean, that 27 means there should have been 13 people are there
Twice.
twice a time.
So that'd be 26. So
Well,
there's one
okay, I don't know
extra.
how you got one person and a half for that. So,
Maybe there was a miss-swipe. They
Yeah.
meant to go into another facility.
Yeah, we were all guilty of pushing the wrong button every now and then. I am totally guilty of that. Just ask my wife when I answer the phone. Okay. Anything else? Okay, moving on.
Can you go back to page 2?
We've had a request to go back to page
Show
2,
page
please, which
Page 20,
is
Vistas.
page
Oh, yes,
20.
please, page 2, the middle one.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Page 2. That's page 1, the next page.
This is page 2, the Vistas.
Yes,
You mean you're referring to Vistas?
yes.
Okay,
Thank
page
you.
20 is what she,
Up there.
okay. Is that what you're looking for?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, on to new business. First item for business is the Vistas perimeter fence, pages 22 through 63.
For purposes of discussion, I would like to make a motion to award the contract for the construction of the fence to SDL Service Direct Landscaping for $101,205 plus a 10% contingency fee.
No second that motion.
I'd like to make a motion that we.
What on the floor?
We already have a
Okay, we
motion
have to
on the
vote
floor.
this one first.
Yes. I will open this up to discussion for board members, please.
I think we need to review the other bids on here. My opinion is SDL is the only bidder that is including the, is it the shower? I think-
No.
That's not correct.
Shower is separate
Shower is
to Cal
separate?
Pools.
Okay.
Joe, you can't do that.
I know something's up with my mind.
You gotta talk, you gotta, right like that.
I'm helping you.
Like that, sorry.
Bruce, I have a point of order, please.
Yes, sir.
The point of order is that
Test.
we haven't even voted yet to have a
Test.
fence.
Okay, thanks.
Jessica, will you respond to that for me? Can you respond to that for me?
For responding, can everyone hear me? No. Put it in your camper. There's something wrong with that mic. Can everyone hear me now? Before responding, I feel it's a good idea for me to just briefly introduce who I am and why I'm here, and I'm switching mics. Is this better?
Yeah.
Okay. So, as Bruce mentioned, my name is Jessica Maseko. No? No. Raise your hand and give it. Okay. I'm a founding partner of the law firm of Maseko and Baddock. I've been practicing law for almost 22 years now, and my firm and my practice focuses exclusively on representation of homeowners associations like yours. I have actually been working with Westbrook Village now for almost 20 years. To be clear, I represent the association as a corporate entity. I do not represent any individuals in the room. I don't represent individual board members. I don't represent management. I represent the association as an entity. In that regard, I provide direction to the board and work through management to direct the board, take information from the board, and advise the board to the best person moving forward. My job is to help the board meet their fiduciary duty to act in the best interest of the association as a whole, and of course to fall within framework of the law and the governing documents. And the reason that the board has asked me to be here today is due to some legal issues that have arisen, and also threats of legal action against the association from certain individual members. So thank you for bearing with my intro. I wanted to get it out there who I am, why I'm here, and what my role will be today. Now back to Bruce's question.
Still can't hear.
I believe there is a motion.
We can't hear you. You can't hear.
You need to speak loud.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay. Did everyone get enough of my intro? Yeah. Why I'm here? Okay, excellent. I will hold the space as close as possible. Back to Bruce's question, I believe there's a motion on the floor, so that motion needs to be, it's been seconded, correct? So that motion needs to be discussed and voted on before another motion could be made.
Jessica, real quick, just want to clarify, you're the author of the letter that the association received
I am, yes.
and dated October 30th of last year.
Yes.
In your opinion, and that's addressed to the board of directors of Westbrook Village.
It is.
Okay. In your opinion, when do you think we should have first gotten this?
Okay, so the letter is dated October 30th. It should have been received by the board when it was appropriate. When did the board receive the letter?
The board received this letter, I received this letter, January 15th at our town hall.
And so at the same time that was presented to all the members.
75 days later.
It was actually requested by a board member that received it a week before the town hall. The board president directed me to present it as needed, and that's what happened. Okay, when the process started, we were, the board directed the board president to direct the general manager to obtain written recommendations from the association insurance and the association attorney. When the process started in September, that's what happened. The first letter came from the insurance company in September. Then after we received the insurance letter, then that was given to the attorney for review, and she wrote her opinion and sent it to us. At that time, I was directed that this would be distributed as needed, as Jessica said. And then Mr. Davis requested it the week before the town hall. Joe, you were at the meetings. multiple meetings that the whole board knew this letter existed. Not once was it ever asked for, except for by Tim Davis. When he asked for it, he received it. So it's actually multiple meetings. This board was informed the letters were being obtained.
I understand that that's what we were told, that the letters were being obtained, but I was told that we did not have these letters yet. And I don't know to ask for something if I don't know it exists. So that's my if something's addressed to us, and I'll take it personally, to me, I believe I should receive a copy of it in a reasonable amount of time.
So you knew the letter was coming, correct?
No.
So you're saying that
I
you
knew
didn't
that we
know the letter
instructed.
was being obtained?
Excuse me?
You did not know the letter was being obtained. You asked about it at ARC?
I
or you
was
asked about
told,
it at board?
I was told that the general manager was asking for these letters.
Okay.
I did not know that we as an association received them, and especially was shocking to me, and I brought this up at the town hall, was the date. Okay, if it's directed to, and that's why I want our attorney to give her opinion about this. If you send me, which you did, back on October 30th, I think that I should receive a copy of this. I'll even say within a week, but not 75 days later on the evening of a town hall when I'm, as a board member, am supposed to have knowledge of these. And so what is your opinion about that, Jessica?
Well, I will say that the town hall was in January, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and the board is voting on this matter now, today, in February. Do you feel like you as a board have all had a sufficient opportunity to review all the information at hand?
No.
You don't? So when did you receive this letter, before the January town hall you mentioned?
No, I received it at
At
the
town
town.
hall, which was January 15th?
Which we were at the town hall were to discuss that, January 15th.
January 15th. Okay, so now you've had the letter for about 3 weeks. Do you want to ask me questions about the content of the letters? I'm happy to provide information.
No, I think it's a little bit tardy at the town hall to have that information when we're supposed to discuss it, as well as, you know, do our due diligence for the community on what is the content of the letter and what it means. For example, I should have the opportunity to contact you and ask you some questions about what's in the letter.
Well, generally, that isn't how the board operates, because there are 6 right now, most often 7 meetings. So if there were questions for me, it wouldn't be a wise use of funds for each all 7 of you to call me individually. But having me here at this meeting is providing, I think, a good opportunity to address any questions regarding the content of the letter that now everyone has at least had 3 weeks to review. So I'm happy to address any questions regarding what is in the letter, and also my recommendations regarding this matter.
Okay.
I have a question. Jessica, you referenced Martinez versus Woodmar, the 4th, and basically that case involves a violent criminal shooting in a condominium parking lot, a guest who was shot in the back while fleeing, a lawsuit claiming the HOA failed to provide adequate security in a known high crime area. The Arizona Supreme Court held that the condominium association has a landlord-like duty to maintain common areas in the reasonable safety condition when it's known of dangerous criminal activity. As far as I know, we don't have any criminal activity here. We have a posse. Again, Martinez deals with gang activity, drug dealing, repeated criminal instances, an actual shooting. Westbrook Village has 0 police reports that I know of trespassing violence, 0 documentation criminal patterns, 0 evidence of dangerous conditions. There's no parallel here. The Woodward HOA knew the parking lot was a hot spot, criminal routine gathering there, residents had complained. I don't understand how you're using this as your criminal case to cite. Can you explain that, please?
Absolutely. So the holding of the court in Woodmar versus Martinez versus Woodmar while that fact pattern was indeed based on crime or correct, the point of the holding is that when an association is aware of known hazards on its common area, the association has the duty of a landlord to keep that common area safe. The duty of the landlord is the highest duty a property owner can be charged with. So the point of Martinez v. Woodmar is that the association has a heightened duty to keep the common area safe when it knows of foreseeable hazards, whether they be criminal or otherwise. And obviously, yes, that case was a tragedy that involved gang violence. But the point with that case, in that fact pattern, the association knew that there was criminal activity in the area. They knew it was a hot spot for gang activity, and they didn't have sufficient lighting. And they had recently cut down their security budget because of monetary concerns. So the point being, the association there knew there was a hazard. They knew what that hazard could lead to, and due to monetary concerns, they cut down their measures to keep the common area safe. So the parallel, and this case is cited in other cases regarding common area safety, the parallel here is if the association knows that its common area contains a hazard, a foreseeable hazard, the association has a duty to take reasonable measures to keep the common area safe. So in this instance, the parallel would be if you have an amenity that is high value, high demand, and is also arguably an attractive nuisance, and people can very easily access it. I've seen the Business Rec Center. You go right from that parking lot, right into those pickleball courts.
Oh, wow. Let there be light. Okay. So I hope everything else I said at least got sorted through. In that instance, the association is aware that there are unauthorized users of that area, and the mere nature, the mere fact that there are unauthorized...
Ladies and gentlemen,
let me finish.
Keep your comments to yourselves. Thank you.
The mere fact that there are unauthorized users is a foreseeable hazard that the association has a duty to protect. Just like if you didn't happen to live in a community with walls all around your yard, if you saw someone in your yard looking at your pool, what would you do? Would you
Jessica, you didn't cite any data. You didn't cite any data whatsoever in your report or in your letter that proves that. Arizona Revised Statutes 33-1551 gives HOA broad immunity for injuries occurring during recreational use in common areas.
So in the event that anyone gets injured on an HOA amenity, and the insurance broker would attest to this too, if anyone gets injured on HOA property, your insurance is going to get pulled in. Your insurance claims history is going to increase as a result, because that is the reality of the world that we live in. And sure, maybe insurance defense lawyers will get in there and say, well, we didn't have this duty or that duty. And we can argue about that all day long, but the point is it's going to increase your claims history and likely increase your premiums should these events occur. Also, given that the industry standard is to fence pickleball and tennis courts and really all other recreational amenities, that means that if the association doesn't do that, it could be considered falling below the standard of care, which would be negligence on the part of the association. I liken it to anything else. You have a fitness center, right? Would you just want that door to the fitness center leading out into the public? You have a pool. Would you want a person just off the street to be able to wander into your pool? Why wouldn't you want to protect an expensive, high demand, high value amenity?
How come your letter doesn't cite the cornhole and those areas that are wide open? Why is it just a pickleball fence? And fences, and I have to apologize to the board here. We had a special board meeting over there where we brought in experts to discuss something.
Excuse me.
Yes, we did.
Tim,
We had a special.
clarify that.
We had it's a special board meeting that I requested.
You had a quorum of the board at a meeting?
We did not, but we requested.
That's not a board meeting.
Thank you.
That's because of the fact that, I'm sorry, Karen, what did you say?
Tim, let's keep this moving forward.
We are moving it forward.
Would you please clarify that it was not a board meeting?
It was not, it was called as a special board meeting, was it not? And we did not have a quorum.
We did not have quorum.
We did not have a quorum.
It was not a board meeting, correct?
That is correct, because
Okay,
we did not have a
let's move
quorum.
on.
Okay.
Okay.
Moving on. You asked why my letter did not cite bocce ball or cornhole. Well, the question presented to me was whether a fence should be constructed around the pickleball courts.
Who solicited you for that letter?
Karen, be
Karen,
the
is it,
general manager.
it's the fiduciary responsibility of the board to request that letter?
The board president requested the letter. Karen doesn't ever call me without authorization from the board
I
president.
think
That's
that
correct.
Marcy was not a board president in 2017. I know that just recently, when this first started,
2017,
that
I'm
is what
sorry.
you look
this-
at, Karen,
this is-
look at the, if we can go back to the minutes that go back to 2017, we can see where this started.
I was requested to write a letter somewhere in 2025, not 2017. I have not,
Can you tell me when in 225 that you were asked?
I can tell you, it must have been somewhere around October 30th, but no, I did not come with my,
Okay, so this has been in the budget for at least 2 years.
my understanding is it first went to a committee in September of 2025. There were 4 different committees over 6 meetings, I believe, that considered this issue, so that timing aligns with it being first brought to committee in September 2025, and then this letter dated October 2025.
Okay, so if you go back to the minutes of 2017, it's in there. So this meeting that we have, Tim's board meeting, for those of you who attended, thank you so much.
That was not a board meeting, Mr. Davis. Please
I-
stop representing it as such.
You understand what I mean, right?
No, that's not the point. Of course I
Okay, so we had,
understand.
Tim Davis had a meeting down there where we had lawyers, we've had a judge, and he articulated it very well. And we had 3 board members, Bruce ended up showing up for that, and we're looking forward to having the judge talk about this in a minute, but your citing of Martinez is just way out of line.
I'm sorry, sir. I respectfully disagree. If you were licensed to practice law in Arizona, maybe we could have a discussion about this, but I will tell you, as an attorney who's been practicing in this area of the law for over 20 years, Martinez is frequently cited in regards to duty to keep the common area safe. And also, it's common sense that if an association, as a private property owner, owns a property and knows that there's a foreseeable hazard, that they would do something to protect the asset and the investment of the 7,000 residents in this community by expending a reasonable sum to protect that property.
In your opinion, you said something about industry standard with fencing, like around tennis courts and things like that. So, industry standard and what I see here, this used to be a tennis facility. And the fences are cyclone and they're quite high. What is the reason for that?
You're asking me about the reason for the height of the tennis court fences?
Yes.
I assume to keep the balls in.
Right,
And
not
also
to keep people out.
No,
No,
absolutely.
just to keep
people out.
So what, my point is, we need to
That's why you think
consider,
there's a gate lock on most tennis courts.
Yeah.
That's to keep people out.
that's to keep people out, the gate lock, but the height of the fence and the cyclone of the fence is mainly to keep the balls in. So I think, and I bring this up because we need to consider having a cyclone fence of that same height around the pickleball. And as we move here and we're talking about the scope of work and awarding contracts, if we're gonna go down that road of what the industry standard is, we need to reevaluate what we're constructing. We don't even really, when we put this out, when we started talking about it, we never had a drawing, we never had an architectural drawing of what.
There is a drawing, I've seen
No.
it. It was presented at the town hall meeting, I believe. Also,
But my point
question-
is if we're gonna go down the industry standard, we're talking about doing that, right? I think that's something that should be considered in here, and you also opined about the letter from the insurance company. And if words matter, I don't see it being a letter from the insurance company. I see it being a letter from the insurance broker. And I don't think that the insurance company has ever even walked our facility.
I can't speak to what your insurance company has or has not done, but I could pretty much guarantee you, if you ask any lawyer or insurance broker whose main job is to protect an association from liability, should we construct a fence around our amenities? The answer is going to be unequivocally yes. Because if you look, Westbrook Village is very similar to a private country club. Is that fair?
I don't think so.
Member only.
If you went to a country club, do you think they're gonna allow people off the street into that facility?
Well, it's much like the golf. It doesn't allow the public to walk onto it, but yet the golf course is not fenced.
Golf courses are never fenced, they're too large. Can you imagine?
And our facilities aren't fenced all the way around. We're talking about and the fence is
Why
impeding
wouldn't-
access. The fence design as we have it is impeding access. The ease of access is what I'm saying, what we have right now. And we're looking at this as constricting the access.
Well,
So
part
that's
of the
another thing
idea.
as well.
Reasonable constriction. My understanding is if the fence is constructed, that the distance that someone has to walk from the entrance to the pickleball court, it will get longer, but it's by no means untenable for a person who's of physical ability to play pickleball court. Moreover, if I recall correctly from the aerial, the pool is very close to the pickleball court, so anyone who is using the pool also has to go in.
But what about the people that don't walk? What about
How
the
do they
people?
use any of, I mean,
They
presumably they have
spectate.
mobility devices.
They spectate.
Correct?
There's handicap parking spots that they use right now. Pull up, they can get out and wheel into the pickleball area.
To be spectators, correct?
Or to participate in a handicap game.
Okay. And right now, the association is handicap compliant, and this will not change that because it gets slightly longer to walk
It's-
around. And all of the
no.
amenities are subject to similar fencing restrictions.
No, they're
Why
not.
wouldn't you want to protect an amenity from outside use?
I don't think that's,
We already do.
if you don't mind, really quick,
Go ahead.
I'm just concerned you didn't cite any data in any way. We have insurance, our insurance company asks for audits all the time. It's never mentioned in an audit. We've been part of this world for 40 years. We've never needed it. It's up to we've budgeted up to $175,000 for something we don't need.
Well, allow me to address that. So, the standard for board action is what is, and you know this, you all know this, because you've all been to board training, what is in the best interests of the community as a whole. So we don't necessarily subject every single expenditure to, is this do or die necessary? Because frankly, this is a beautiful community, and a lot of this is not utter necessity. Can we agree on that? There are things here that are done just to preserve existing assets, to expand, to renovate, to increase everyone's property value by making these beautiful facilities. So the standard isn't, ooh, we need the data to say this is absolutely necessary. The standard is that in the best interest of the community as a whole to protect a recent, approximately $1 million asset by spending approximately $100,000.
What I got out of the town hall that we had is that the people that were there wanted us to stick with the ability of Article 6, Section 4 clearly establishes that when a project constitutes a capital improvement, you allow the people to vote. And that's where I'm
So you're citing the provision of the bylaws that says, it's Article 6, Section 4, quote, except as otherwise provided in the declaration, the board shall not approve any capital expenditure as opposed to a maintenance expense.
This is not maintenance, this is a new capital
Please finish the
improvement.
provision. I feel like everyone should at least hear what the provision says. I'll repeat. Except as otherwise provided in the declaration, the board shall not approve any capital expenditure as opposed to a maintenance expense, emphasis added by me, in excess of $20,000 without the prior approval at a duly convened meeting of members holding 2/3 of the votes represented personally or by valid proxy at such meeting. End quote. So that provision draws a line between capital expenditure versus maintenance expense. Now, these terms are not defined. Your bylaws were written in 1982, and these terms were not defined in there. I think various accountants, lawyers would argue about what constitutes a capital expenditure versus what constitutes maintenance. However, given that the conduct of the parties in the situation, which means the association and the membership, for at least the last 20 years, possibly longer, time wasn't had to dig through those records, none of the maintenance expenses to renovate, improve existing facilities have gone through a membership vote process, because those were all construed as maintenance of existing facilities. The perimeter fence at issue is a structure that would be constructed to maintain and protect an existing facility. Now, by contrast, let's say, I know that the Fine Arts Learning Center is old. There might be some talk in the future about eventually tearing it down, replacing it. A tear down and a complete replacement of a structure, that's a capital expenditure. That would go before a vote of the membership. But at least for the past 20 years, it's my understanding the association has only been renovating, upgrading, beautifying existing facilities as part of the maintenance of those facilities, which is why these items have not been presented for a membership vote. Same thing with the perimeter fence. It is to maintain and protect an existing facility.
So you're basically saying that erecting a new fence that's not there before, you're saying it's a maintenance issue?
It maintains the existing facility.
It does not. If you're going to paint a building, that's maintenance. If you're gonna fix a rusted valve, that's maintenance. Erecting a brand new fence is a capital that we need to let the people vote on this.
I'm going to chime in. I am going to be, Tim, I have to disagree with you. This, going down this road would be damaging to this community. We cannot vote on every little item that comes down to have it improved, maintained. It has been our history that the board has been elected to make these decisions for our community. And folks, I believe in my heart that you need to allow us to do this. I know these are hard decisions, but that is my take on this. Thank you.
What harm? That being said, what harm would we be doing to the community by allowing them to vote on this?
I can address that unless, does the board want to address that?
Please.
So my understanding is that with electronic voting, the cost to hold a vote is approximately $10,000. So basically, if the association were to put every expenditure to a vote of the membership, there is a cost to that. Also, while there's a lot of educated and engaged members here today, the vast majority of the time, do you have this many people here? Do you have this many people asking about capital? Do you have this many people at Ways and Means, long-range planning, asking about expenditures? Is the membership really going to get engaged enough to the point that they would even meet quorum for a matter such as this? Then the association would be hamstrung on every single expenditure it wanted to make.
Jessica, this is what I hear you're saying as our attorney. You're saying that we need to bypass our bylaws.
Absolutely not.
That's what you're saying.
That is not what I'm saying, Mr. Davis. The question that was asked of me is what's the harm in putting out a vote to the membership? That's the question I was addressing. As I have pointed out earlier, this is a maintenance expense because the bylaws specifically draw a line between capital expenditures and maintenance expenses. Now, I wish that the drafters of the bylaws would have actually defined these terms so we wouldn't have these arguments. However, as you know, as someone who studies Arizona law, when terms are not defined in governing documents, the courts will look to the conduct of the parties to interpret the intent of the provisions. Here, I wasn't here in 1982. If anyone was, raise your hand. Great. I was hoping we'd have someone. But we weren't all here then. I don't know what the drafters meant. I don't know how this was played out in the 80s, but I do know in the 20 years that I have been working with Westbrook Village that the association has not sent out expenditures for maintenance items for a vote of the membership. That is what a court would look at if this were to actually be litigated, which would also be a huge costly mess for the association, but I digress.
I'm a little sad. Everybody that's in this room, when you first purchased a home here, you was given a packet that said, here's your CCNRs, here's your bylaws, here's your articles of incorporation. This is what you're mandated to look at. And what I'm hearing now today from this board is we're going to not, because of the fact that maybe because you voted for us or for whatever reason, it's our standard of duty is to uphold those documents. And if we're looking at a term of maintenance, that's sad. So,
Why is it sad?
because it's not a
to
maintenance
maintain
item, it's a capital improvement.
Was there a big,
Okay,
brouhaha?
I'm gonna, hold it. The comment is out of line. I'm putting you on notice, okay? Thank you. Okay, carry on.
I guess I'm wondering, since I wasn't present for the renovation of the pickleball courts, was there a motion from the members to put that out to a vote, or from any board members, or from any pickleball players? Was there concern about this provision in the bylaws then? No?
I was on the Recreation Committee at that time. There was the vote went from the Recreation Committee, approved the expenditures, and it went to the board, which was approved unanimously, if I remember correctly, maybe not, my memory's not that great. But I was on the Rec Committee when it came to us, and there were arguments pro and con, mostly pro. Mostly the arguments con came from tennis players who were afraid of losing their tennis courts, which they eventually did. But the proposals to go forth with the pickleball courts was supported by the committee. It was supported by all the committees it went to. It never went out to the community. It wasn't necessary. At that time, everybody was in favor of it. Nobody argued against the board at all, especially board members.
I think we're in the weeds here. The idea of board members coming out at the town hall meeting and pointing out the fact that you need to allow the people to vote. I think that the board needs to uphold the bylaws. And so now we're looking at a definition. Is it a maintenance action or is it not? And I think that every board member should say when they vote, why they're voting in accordance with the bylaws or not.
It's simple, real simple. I just looked up definitions. Capital improvements are any alteration or addition that permanently is to be put in place. Maintenance is such as like paint, things like that, that brings a property back to its original state. So this is a capital improvement. You might be, I think we can agree to disagree.
I've looked at many definitions of capital improvement and maintenance. And depending where you look, sometimes actually maintenance is thrown in the definition of capital improvement, which is confusing, which is why, again, I wasn't here in 1982, I don't know the drafters, but they specifically separated out maintenance. Now, to the point of Tim saying, well, I think that the members should vote on this, so are you saying then that every single expenditure over $20,000, so let's just call that every single expenditure, if you live in 2026 or you can't get anything for $20,000, are you saying that that should all go to a vote of the members?
If it's a capital improvement, yes.
So where are you going to draw a line between capital improvement and maintenance?
I
It's
just
not
did.
defined.
I just did.
So basically, anytime the association is doing anything that's not fixing this roof or repainting a structure, every single one of those goes to the members.
Yeah. That's the way it's written.
So if quorum is not set forth for the quorum of 30% in this community is high. That it just is. And that's
Over 2,500.
Understood. So then you're willing to live in a community where if quorum doesn't come forward, because while there's a lot of people here, this isn't quorum, right? So then those votes would just never happen. So nothing would ever get done. The community would deteriorate. Your property values would deteriorate. Now the board's facing a claim for breach of fiduciary duty.
I disagree because I live here right now, and you mentioned what a nice community this is, and we've been living under this already. So I disagree with that opinion,
That's the whole
that the
point.
property would deteriorate.
And that's the whole point. None of these expenditures have gone out for the vote. You've made my point. You live in a beautiful
No, we
community.
haven't had a capital
because-
improvement.
By your definition, yes, you have.
The ballroom would be maintenance, we remodeled this.
Not a capital improvement to tear
Not
it all
according to the
apart.
definition you just read. And you've underscored my point. We can argue all day about the
That's right.
definitions of capital expenditures and maintenance, but you just said this, what, $1 million upgrade?
1.6.
$1.6 million upgrade is maintenance. How is the pickleball fence different from that? It's maintenance of
added.
the
What did we add here?
pretty much everything.
Fire
No.
sprinklers, risers,
I mean, this is my point.
That's
though.
bringing
We go-
improvement to an existing structure for beautiful,
and a fence
beautiful,
that costs-
what do you call it? Lipstick and,
So an offense that will protect an existing structure that
The
costs
fence does not
10% of
protect it.
this
The fence
is
does not
somehow.
Can we keep moving forward here?
like you said, we could argue about this all day, but the importance that we bring up is it needs to be brought to the community. And even if we differ on the opinion about the article stating that, okay, even without that, it needs to be brought to the community.
Why this
for a
issue?
vote.
Why just this issue?
Because it's very contentious and it hasn't been, proper due diligence has not been done
I
about
beg to
this.
differ with you.
Let me put it this way.
It's been 2 to 3 years we've been on this subject. We have explored it all. And in fact, Joe, the board was apprised of the letters at the November board meeting and given the gist of what was in those letters. Nobody then asked to see those letters.
We don't need to be asked to be seen, we need to be given them.
Not necessarily all the time.
Max, can you
When
give,
they are leaked to the public, they're confidential letters from
Is there
the
anything
board
confidential in there?
to the administrator or to the board.
Folks, hey.
From our attorney, they're confidential.
Let's keep this moving in a forward direction. We've gone sideways here.
Can I address Mr. Bernier's point, if it's okay with you, regarding the due diligence? So one thing, since I do represent hundreds of associations throughout Arizona, one thing I really respect and admire about Westbrook Village is your committee process. Because a lot of communities, these things just go to a vote of the board. There's no town hall, it's just a board vote, no one's paying attention half the time, not the board, but the membership. You have an engaged membership, you have a lot of people willing to serve on committees. So this particular project has gone to 4 different committees. Architectural, landscape, ways and means, help me out.
Recreation.
So, and Mr. Bernier, I believe you seconded the motion to accept the application for the fence back in September of 2025. So for you to, at the committee, the architectural committee, so for you to say that there's not due diligence here, I think that's a misstatement, and it's misleading to people here who might not realize the level of committee work that already went into this months before we are here today. So when people just show up and say, what's this board doing? They're voting on this without any due diligence. That is completely inaccurate, and I want to make sure that people who aren't involved in the committee process understand. And also now you know, you have the opportunity to attend these committee meetings and voice your concerns at those as well, as opposed to waiting until this is already before the board, and basically we've had our 5 months of due diligence, if not longer.
The ACC meeting that you mentioned, that I approved, was strictly for whether or not a design of a 4-foot fence on top of a 2-foot block wall met the community standards. And at that meeting, I even opined that it should look like this fence right out here, if we do a fence. So I was just approving that met the community standards.
In September, so you're aware that there's been a committee process. This was back in September at a committee meeting. So to say there's been no due diligence, I think that's inaccurate.
There hasn't, I'm talking about the whole entire project. Okay, it's not that I don't think I approved whether or not the fence should be a 4-foot fence on top of a 2-foot wall.
Okay, well, whatever that was being discussed,
also-
my point is just this was at a meeting in September.
Yeah.
A meeting that was open to everyone in addition to 3 other
Right.
committees.
And I also opined that, if we do move forward with blocking off our community access to our facilities, we need to have access controls. We can't just lock everything up and make it more inconvenient for us to have access. And that would, all that is not recognized in that meeting.
Okay,
Joe,
well,
I hear what you're saying, and for me, this fence was a first step. And And I do believe we have the ability to look further beyond on access in the future through this said fence. But to get there, we gotta get this fence first.
My issue.
Hello. My issue is this. We do not have an insurance audit that says we need it. We don't have any actual data, police records, criminal activity, anything to put up a fence. This is really a control mechanism, really, is to control access through the main area. This has gone through where you have a button at the front desk that we have an active shooter or something like this. This is not a good idea. What you're doing is people that walk their dogs through the thoroughfare there, that wants to say hello to their neighbors, that when people want to come over and when you get to be a certain age, you just want to be around people. It's an open campus affair. We do not have any actual data, no police records, no.
Yes, we do.
Okay, please, next Ellen,
We had
please.
break-ins, we even had a shooting here in the last 3 to 4 years.
Why was that? Why? That's
There's
true.
no
We did have a shooting, but it was not
criminal activity at all.
in. It was not in our common area, right? So, but the deal is this: if you have the data presented to us, please.
There are police records. Don't sit there and tell us there are no police records.
Where are they? Jessica, do you have any audit by the insurance company or any police data that supports this letter that you wrote?
I am not in possession of police data because it is absolutely not necessary. The standard is whether there's foreseeable concerns and hazards. Do you have a wall around your property? Would you rather not have that wall around your property? Well, you know, it's a safe neighborhood. There's not much happening here. I don't need this wall. Of course you do. Everything has a wall to keep out people who might have ill intentions or just not be authorized to be here. Why wouldn't you want to protect this asset? Just like why wouldn't you want to protect your house? Why wouldn't you as a board member make a decision to help protect the assets of 7,000 residents? I don't understand. Honestly, it's common sense.
Well, if that's your argument, you should have cited that in your letter.
Pretty sure that's
You did not present any actual data to support your argument, other than a Martinez criminal case.
Because it's common sense to fence in your amenities.
I think you're wrong.
I don't have a wall around my whole property, and I'm not negligent in my property ownership of that property. If a trespasser came on my property, they can't do anything about it if they hurt themselves on the property.
So your property is open to the public?
Yes, I guess it's not open. It's known by Arizona statutes that if you walk onto my property, you're trespassing on my property. It's common sense.
Now, if you owned an entity that had the interests of 7,000 to 8,000 residents under your control, would you want to protect that from potential trespassers?
They all love my yard. So they can, that's what you're saying, if they want to be on my yard, they can walk into my yard.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you were on, let's just say you were on the board of a country club, and you had millions upon millions of dollars of investments of other people in your control, would you not want to protect those investments?
Other than a golf course.
You only want to protect the golf course. So you're on the board of a multi-million-dollar country club. And
You said earlier today that the golf course does not apply. Even though if everybody in this room goes by the golf course, you see the signs that the Arizona revised statutes about trespassing. That's all we need
Of course, you
here.
can only access through and there's a clubhouse that you have to go
Oh,
through.
you can walk on right from the sidewalk. Walk that sidewalk right over there and you can just walk on.
Well, the industry standard is not to fence golf courses, but it is to fence sport courts.
Is the industry standard written somewhere?
If you asked any insurance agent or attorney whose job was to protect the association from liability, they would say you fence your sport courts.
So it's not written anywhere?
Industry standard is never written anywhere. That's not.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
If I'm in construction, it's written.
Yeah, okay.
Point of order. Can I get a point of order here? Can we have this to end and let the
I understand, but board members are in discussion first.
Now, let me be clear, this is a board decision. I mean, I am only here, my job, and I want to point this out again, is to help protect the association from liability and to help the board members act in accordance with their fiduciary duty to do what's in the best interest of the community as a whole. We are free to disagree. Obviously, there's disagreement here, but my recommendation remains that the board approve the fence. It is their decision, but that remains my recommendation based on my role as counsel to the association.
Okay, thank you, Jessica. Board members, is there any further discussion? At this point, I would like to open this up to community members. I will encourage you to be precise in your comments. Please don't ramble. And I would welcome original thoughts so we don't have continuous repetition here. But the microphone is now open. Thank you. Sean, will you raise that up? Because a lot of folks are taller than that thing is. I will remind you, I am putting a clock on this, limiting it to 3 minutes. Thank you.
My name is Michael Giroux. I live in Fairway Views. I've got 2 points here. One, I've been to several of these meetings in town hall, and it appears to me that the pickleball club is always well represented, and the other 6,500 members of this community don't really care one way or the other if we spend $100,000. So it seems to me that the opposition is not overwhelming, and I don't think anybody would really care one way or the other. The second thing is that with respect to access to the pickleball court, and this is whether you put a fence up or not, I would like you to consider the use of Chelsea to reserve court time. Now, I look at the court maps that are published by the pickleball club, and it's not entirely, it's not clear to me why the association ever relinquished control of the courts to the pickleball club, but they do a pretty good job. I'm not opposed to that. And they've got areas designated for general play, open play, all the time, so I can get out there anytime I want. But I don't find anything in their guidelines that suggests that the pickleball club themselves are prohibited from using the open play areas during their reserve times. And if I go up to the court and I'm having trouble getting on, I don't have any way of challenging people. I don't know who's a resident and who's not. So if we don't have a fence, then I need some other alternative. If I've got Chelsea, I can walk up and say, hey, this is my court. I've got it for the next hour. So whether you do a fence or not, I'd like you to consider Chelsea.
Okay.
Is Chelsea a program, an app, or what is that?
Chelsea is a reservation app used for golf courses, pickleball courts, tennis courts. They've got huge, if you go, I think, Pebble Creek, they've got a huge pickleball club down there. I think they use Chelsea. You get the board, they do. Aaron can speak. So, just something to think about, whether or not you put a fence. Because even with the fence, I've still got a situation where I get up and I'm trying to use the general court area, the open area, and stuff that's supposed to be for general use. And there could be pickleball club people down there using it. And I've got no way of getting on. I gotta share that time with them, because their current thing, the last thing I read was you gotta use a paddle system or something to get on. So it just seems to me that at a minimum, I should be able to get on a court and not have to challenge people. I don't want to be confrontational. I don't want to.
Okay. Anyways, thank you for your comments. Appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Jim Schmidt from Fairway Views. So, right.
Closer.
They're really good close. All right, so.
I'm sorry, what's up with you?
Fairway Views.
Fairway Views.
So, it sounded like we were getting in the weeds and we were arguing about definitions of words and all kinds of stuff. And I think if you were to go back to what's the problem we're trying to solve, and I don't know if the attorney has an opinion of what's the problem we're trying to solve, but my understanding was we started with trespassing. So it was a liability issue for people coming onto our property and using our property without our knowledge or recklessly. So if that's the case, then I can understand. I actually have experience being a board member. I had an experience of an engineer, so I'm like, give me a problem, I'll help you figure out how to solve it. I can help you too with the pickleball issue. So if the problem is really about trespassing and it's about liability to our association, then maybe putting a fence around it is fine. But if you listen to the community wants access to the courts in a convenient way that they have it today. So put access points, secured access points on the north side where people conveniently park, and provide, whether it's a swab, a key, a fob, or a keypad, or whatever it is, provide the easy access to our residents or pickleball club members so they can get access to the courts the way they do today. I think that will alleviate almost all of the problems that people are concerned about, because people could then come. If you don't do that, I mean, and I didn't hear anything in the opinions of the lawyer about that we can't have secured access in multiple points. We're preventing people that don't belong here, non-residents, from coming in, but residents should be allowed to freely come in and out. Plus, if you hit your pickleball over the fence, you can go get it with the current system. So I think maybe we have to look at what I'll call the current view of the project, and maybe make some adjustments to the project that actually solve the problem of fixing liability, but also take into consideration all of the pickleball club members and residents' ability to access in a convenient way and provide the community that we have there today.
Thank you.
Good morning. Before speaking, I asked Karen, my speech. Before speaking, I asked Karen if I could go 3.5 minutes because I timed my speech, and she said that'd be okay.
Name and subdivision.
Thank you. My name is Jack Ellsner, and I live in Fairway Springs, right next door, and I've never been on a pickleball court. I want to give my legal opinion on the duty of care owed to a trespasser to our athletic facilities, be it golf, tennis, or pickleball. To judge the weight to be given to a legal opinion, you should consider the person's education, training in that area of law, and experience in that area of law. You should also judge whether the opinion given goes against well-established Arizona law. My education is I was president of my law school class. My training is that I was in the law division that represented a county that had a population greater than 7 states, and I rose to be the chief of that division. I started a law firm representing counties, cities, and municipalities in state and federal court throughout the state of Illinois. Finally, I became a judge. As a judge for more than 20 years, the first 10 years were in criminal court, which is irrelevant to the subject. The next 10 years, I was in a court where I presided over cases asking for more than $50,000 for personal injury. The duty of care is something I addressed 5 days a week for more than 10 years. The law in Arizona regarding the duty of care is that you owe a duty of regular care to our residents and their guests, as stated by Jessica in her letter, paragraph 3. However, Jessica goes on to say, trespassers are due the same duty of care. I gave a copy of the Arizona law to the vice president, each of the directors, to Karen and to Jessica this morning. Arizona law states that a possessor of land does not owe a duty of care to a trespasser. except to be free from intentional harm or willful and wanton. Now, you may not know what willful and wanton is, and we're not going to argue about it because the state of Arizona tells us what willful and wanton is. The state of Arizona says that a person that is recklessly indifferent, or if he knows or reasonably should know, a reasonable person in his position ought to know that, one, the action or inaction creates a reasonable risk of harm, and the risk is so great that it's highly probable that harm will result. You cannot set booby traps for a trespasser. The insurance broker cannot give you a legal opinion. He doesn't have the education, he doesn't have the training, and this isn't a part of his duties. Just like Jessica and I cannot give you an insurance opinion. Jessica's opinion is stated in her letter to you, which all of you have. If you look at paragraph 3 of that letter, it says that you owe a reasonable degree of care to our residents and their guests. This is true. However, she goes on to say that duty of care is also owed to a trespasser. The state of Arizona disagrees. I don't tell you, the state of Arizona tells you that that duty is not owed to a trespasser. That's what the state of Arizona is telling you. The Martinez case, which was discussed, was some gangbangers were still in dope in a parking lot. There was, in fact, a person who was legally in the parking lot as a guest, and what duty was owed to him. The Supreme Court specifically said it was limited to duties owed to residents and guests that were legally on the property. So,
Sir, you're at 5 minutes already.
oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, you gave the other attorney a half hour, but.
I'm going to ask that Jessica respond to this.
I think it's only fair,
I am allowing Jessica to respond.
because the gentleman who came up cited my letter, but actually mischaracterized my letter, so I think it's only fair. In paragraph 3, what I said, unauthorized use of pickleball courts creates significant liability concerns for the association, as the association bears the same responsibility for injuries sustained by an unauthorized user or trespasser as it would for injuries sustained by an authorized user, such as a resident or guest. I don't talk about the duty of care to trespassers anywhere in here, because when I was reviewing this problem to be considered, my thought is, what is the actual impact on the association when we're not up in the weeds of legalese? The actual impact on the association is that if someone gets injured on these pickleball courts, no matter who they are, you're going to get involved. You're going to get brought in, there's going to be an insurance claim. So I'm actually I have not gotten into the duty of care owed to different types of people. The only duty of care I've gotten involved in and opined on is the Martinez v. Woodmark case, which goes to basically state that the association has a heightened duty of care to its residents. As someone who practices Arizona HOA law for over 2 decades, I can tell you that you don't just have a regular duty as an association to your residents. You have a heightened duty to keep your common areas safe. In addition, one other point, in terms of trespassers, there's also the concern, which I believe I did include in my letter, that if someone else comes onto the property who's not authorized to be there, what if they cause injury or cause some type of damage that causes injury to a resident? Now we have the association again brought into a claim based on something that someone who wasn't even supposed to be there did that caused a hazard to a resident. And again, under the association's heightened duty of care to its residents, that is a real concern.
Okay, thank you very much. Continue, please.
I'm Regina Balsamis. I live in Village Square.
Last name, please.
Balsamis, B-A-L-S-A-M-I-S. I spoke before at the last meeting. I'm an attorney in Illinois, Wisconsin, and Arizona. So, just so you know where I'm coming from. So, no matter what we're saying here, I don't think I see the need after much discussion of what you're proposing. I don't see that we do have anything more than the duty to put signs up like the golf course does, okay? That's all I see. And that argument just was shown, the fact that the golf course has these ponds that are definitely, those are an attractive nuisance, and they don't have to put a fence around them. So I don't think we have a liability issue, but either way, you guys want a fence for some reason. And you're welcome to want to put a fence for other reasons. But let's look at what are the true reasons you want to put the fence up, and are you really getting the result you want by the fence that you're talking about? Because we talked about that one of the things you want is that the players have access easily, but to be residents of Westbrook Village or their registered guests. So what you're proposing is very expensive. It may be a solution, but even looking physically at the fences, if it was to prevent trespassers, they can climb over easily. So it's not really accomplishing what we think you want, what you really want. I'd love to know. I don't think we know. I think the absence of the letters getting to the board when they're addressed to the board members is a shame. It's really bad. And Karen, I'm sure you're busy, you got it, maybe you thought the president would direct you, but they're addressed to the members of the board. So I think you should have gotten those letters so you can think about them, ask questions, do your research. So I suggest that the board does their research. I also think that you need to look at your bylaws. They are your laws. Let's not say, well, is it really practical, practical on every little thing to have to get a vote? No, it's not. Well, let's change the bylaws. Right, go. So change the bylaws in a way that you can work with them in the future to make these capital expenditures. The IRS, the U.S. government, has defined what capital expenditures are. Accountants know this. The definitions that were read into earlier are correct. This is cosmetic, this is lip sync, like you said. Putting a new structure, moving the showers, changing the platinum, there's a difference. So I think it is impractical at $20,000 to do, it's not a practicality. Why would you do that? But I think that you really need to change your bylaws the right way and follow the law, because that's what we bought in, that's what was given to us, that law. And we agreed to that law and paid our membership and paid our effective. If I have any time left, please, to the judge.
I'm Bob James from Meadow Ridge, and I'll keep my presentation shorter because I won't bore you with my resume. And a lot of what I wanted to say has been said already. You all, right, understandably so, went down a rabbit hole of legalese. This whole issue is about trying to determine whether we have members or non-members of Westbrook Village on our pickleball court. If the fence can accomplish that, then great. I don't think it can, because you're going to have exit gates in that fence. And if there are people on the pickleball court that want to let non-members in, they're going to let them in through the gate. So I think the real question here is, does a fence accomplish the objective that we're talking about?
Thank you. Hello, my name is Jake Lucero. I live in Tamarin Place. So I'm going to run probably a minute over as well. Naturally, many homeowners are skeptical. The pickleball courts, previously the tennis courts, have existed for more than 30 years without incident, complaint, or known liability issue. To now be told that there is suddenly a significant legal exposure, one requires that an expensive and highly unpopular fence raises reasonable questions among the community. The timing of this recommendation feels suspicious to many homeowners, not because we assume bad intent, but because no clear explanation has been provided. We understand that some board members believe they are obligated to follow council's advice, even when that advice leads to an extremely unpopular decision. However, for such a recommendation to carry weight with the homeowners, transparency is essential. If legal counsel identified a specific risk, it would be reasonable for homeowners, or at a minimum, the board of directors, to see documentation supporting that conclusion. For example, was there an inspection conducted? If so, who performed it? Was legal counsel directly a member of her staff, or was it a third-party contractor? Did that inspection include all the recreational facilities, office buildings, common grounds, or was it just the pickleball courts that were singled out? It would be nice if we knew the board members / decision makers had seen this report. I also find it alarming that no concern was raised for the visibility, for the liability we are exposed to regarding our site visibility triangles at most of our neighborhoods. The 45-degree walls aren't designed to display neighborhood monument signs. They are there to provide a clear view of oncoming traffic. There are numerous city ordinance violations in regards to landscaping obstructions in these triangles. The reason I bring it up, because those stand out like a sore thumb, that alone leads me to question the attorney's office, whether the attorney's office is certified in risk assessment. Back to the pickleball courts. What specifically was observed at the courts that constitutes a liability today that did not exist for the past 3 decades? Absent this information, homeowners are left to assume that the risk was identified without clear evidence, or that the recommendation is being applied without sufficient scrutiny by anyone, including the board of directors. That is not a healthy position for the board to be in, or the community to be in. I feel bad for the board, because you're being asked to make an extremely unpopular decision without sufficient supporting documentation or evidence. Only an opinion from legal counsel, and we're all experienced, mature adults here. We understand that legal opinions generally can and have equally opposing opinions. This topic is a confusing one to me because it doesn't feel like it's an us versus them, because no one will stand up and say it was my idea and defend the idea. Again, it's just an opinion from the attorney. We all know what they say about opinions in life. Everyone has one. Most of my friends and my neighbors, to my fellow golfing buddies, don't really have a horse in this race, i.e. the fence. What upsets them the most, possibility of spending $130,000 or more from our community account in regards, period. In our regards to the cost being discussed without finalized working drawings, and these are not working drawings, by the way, this is a conceptual plan, a conceptual design. There's no dimensions, there's no foot, there's no height of the fence, there's no height of the wrought iron fence, there's no width of the wrought iron fence, the rails, nothing. I don't know, I have to have questions on any contractor that would give you a proposal based on these drawings, because these are not working drawings, these are just conceptual designs. Anyway, back to...
Jay, I'm going to ask you to wind it up.
Yeah, sure. Most of my friends... We all share in the same goal, protecting the HOA, preserving the amenities, and the residents' home values. Transparency does not weaken that goal, it strengthens it. Providing documentation, or at least a detailed explanation of the basis for this recommendation, will go a long way toward building trust and helping homeowners understand why this decision is truly necessary. Before I close, I believe the solution is as simple as this. Ask the actual insurance carrier, not a third-party insurance salesman, one question. If we were to have a potential claim on the pickleball courts against us, are we covered? We all know we'd expect the answer to be yes, or the pickleball facility would be closed and should be closed until the minimum standards are met per the risk assessment officer department of the insurance company. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Jay.
Jim Keller from Cypress Point Estate, and I have spent 14 years in the legislative district here. I spent 42 years working for a manufacturer of agricultural machinery. We put lots of projects together, and my biggest concern here is liability and injuries. I have investigated injuries where people have lost their arms, legs, and serious injuries. So my biggest concern is the liability. Who owns the pickleball courts? They're going to be liable for anything that happens on that pickleball court. Not us, the players of pickleball club or anybody else. Okay, I've been neutral on this fence, but I am not neutral on the protection of any outside player or unauthorized player or trespasser. Now we got different definitions of trespassing. You get 6 lawyers together on the same subject, and you're going to get 3 different opinions. So let's not get hung up on the definition of a trespasser. My point is, if a legal trespasser or unauthorized person comes on those courts and gets a serious injury, breaks an arm, crushes a head, and decides to put a lawsuit against who? Westbrook Association, not the players. And they're going to be responsible for this. And then there's going to be and that person decides to put a lawsuit in place. Who's going to defend the lawsuit? Westbrook Association. So that's my concern, is where is the liability going to fall? And where is, in looking after serious injuries? Now, there are trespassers on that court, because I have changed the law myself, so I know that. And so, it's a very big, it's a fact, it's that I have my concern with. And remember, these legal, defined trespassers have signed no liability waiver. We all sign a liability waiver. They don't sign. They are open game. Okay, I have to say this. Let me give you one quick example.
I'm going to ask you to wind it up as quickly as you can, please. Thank you.
Let me wind up with one case, Bruce, that I was involved in the city of Peoria.
Microphone,
Yeah, Mike, thank you.
One case that I was involved in the city of Peoria. Our chairman, 6-year-old son, had a very serious injury on the playground equipment here in Peoria. Very serious. Had lifelong damages. Her attorney decided to sue the city of Peoria. This is a parallel case that could happen right here. And she sued the city of Peoria. Her attorney did. Her attorney won the case. Won the case on the base of safety protection negligence. Her award was $210,000. Now, lawsuits are very costly, and they're very time consuming. I'll close with my biggest concern is, like I said, I'm much on the fence, but I am not rooted on having a responsibility for keeping these trespassers, unauthorized people off of the court. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, my name is Lynette Jones.
Lynette, you
In the
need to pull.
microphone.
Turn it up to you. There you go. Thank you.
My name is Lynette Jones. Can you hear me in the back? Yes. I'm Lynette Jones, live in Fairway Springs. I'm also the president of the pickleball club. And what I want to talk about here is the elephant in the room. So the optics on all of this have not been great. I mean, we clearly have a room full of very passionate people around this issue. Whether they're for or against it, they're very passionate about it. It's important to them. We had the same thing at the town hall. A lot of people there, very passionate about it. We, the pickleball club, have spent hundreds of hours talking to lawyers and judges and experts and contractor experts and safety experts and so on, because we want to be correct. We want to be right. We want to be informed. We want to know we're making the right decision when we vote. And, you know, all of us have looked through, not all of us, but many of us have read through the bylaws, the articles of incorporation, and the covenant so many times we can recite them in our sleep. Remember that going forward. Articles, what I see as the problem here is that you clearly have a very divided, passionate community. Why would you not put this to the vote of the members that live here? You think they can't think for themselves? You know, you think they can't research things for themselves? I don't understand. And I hope you change your mind and put the vote to the community, because you're supposed to represent us. Thank you.
name is John Wallman from Country Club Estates. I have 4 little items here. The first one, only at the last town hall meeting did we get what conceptual plans. So Max, you said you were on the committee that approved this, or it's been approved by 3 or 4 committees. How many of those committees were you on?
I was on the first committee at that time, the rec committee.
Cannot hear anybody.
That was about 10 years ago. I was on the Recreation Committee at the time as a member.
No other committees?
Not at that time, no.
Because if you look at committees' assignments, there's usually 2 or 3 boards on every one of the committees, which is kind of a rubber stamp what the board does, which was brought up earlier. The second
I was not on the board at that time.
Okay, what am I?
So, policy is no more than 2.
Okay, is this a discussion, or am I presenting my stuff in 3 minutes?
Will you continue on, please?
The other one, I believe the lawyer said that the bylaws state that anything over 20,000 is supposed to be put to vote. So I didn't hear that brought up in the discussions because this is more than 20,000. The fact that we don't really have a clear plan, how could any company bid on it, is beyond me. And the fact that we only got one vendor bidding on it, and only one for the shower part is, I'll just read a few things here about the Arizona HOA boards. They have, it's best practice for fiduciary duty to secure multiple bids is highly advisable for transparency. Best practices in liability, non-emergency projects can expose board members to personal liability for breaching their fiduciary duty to homeowners. So it's best to get 3 bids. Well, you've got to have a plan to present them so they know what to bid and what the cost will be. And the last point is about suing. Anyone can sue for any reason, whether they have the right to or not. So if we put the fence up, are you going to defend this for free? Because we got the fence up? I don't think so. So cost is still there on that. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
My name is Kathy Carter and I live in Willow Ridge, and I support your decision to vote yes for the perimeter fence. I heard the comment that we have a solution to a problem that doesn't exist based on statistical data. In other words, there's no police reports or things like that. But observational data does exist, and it's sometimes more reliable than statistical data. An example is when a person looks at the number and names of residents who have signed in as required to use the pickleball courts and then checks the actual number of players who are playing. The observational data is more accurate than the statistical data, and that has happened on our courts. I myself have 5 different examples of trespassers based on observational data, and many of you have other examples, which is what led to the need for the perimeter fence. A couple of years ago, Vince Legato spoke at a board meeting and referenced witnessing young players in flip-flops and the liability associated with them being on our courts. I'm sure Liz Loggy also has several examples since she was just celebrated recently for being the enforcer. Trespassers are a very real concern in our community, mostly on our pickleball courts. There's nothing more reliable than witnessing this with my own eyes rather than reading numbers on a written report. When it comes to safety and security, we should never compromise. As board members of a large community, you have the responsibility to protect all residents from liability and ensure a safe environment, again, for all residents. A positive byproduct of the fence will be that residents will now adhere to the requirement for signing in when using their facilities. Thank you for taking your responsibility seriously and voting for safety by saying yes to the fence. Thank you.
Thank you.
Brett Dresser, St. Andrews.
I'm sorry, name again?
Brett Dresser,
Thank you.
St. Andrews. First of all, can you guys please work on your microphones, because this is embarrassing that people can't hear each other. Sorry, I'm trying to get as close.
Raise that microphone.
Just raise it up. There you go. Just tip it up.
Okay, there you go, sorry. So, I want to talk to the maintenance versus capital thing that was mentioned earlier. I agree with the attorney that you cannot vote on everything and nothing would get done, but I don't agree with the characterization of what maintenance is, because the other examples that were given were taking something that existed and fixing it or enhancing it, and I don't understand how it can be determined that maintenance is putting up a fence that doesn't extend the life of the pickleball courts. It doesn't increase at all, it just protects it. That's all it's doing. So it's a separate entity that just happens to be around the pickleball court. So if you're comparing maintenance to capital expenditure with the vote, that's all I want to focus on. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning. Virgil Benish, Global Ridge. Just a couple of things. First of all, I'm extremely disappointed in the process used for the bidding. There doesn't seem to be a set of specifications, drawings, guidelines. It's basically going to contractors and asking them to send me a proposal. I can tell you from 45 years experience in construction that that's a rabbit hole you should not be going down with something of this size. There should be specifications and at least a minimal set of drawings to go from, to get any bids. And all bids should be equal. There should not be one with, I'm including this, and I'm not including this, and I'm including that. It just obfuscates everything. Number two, personally, I would take the word of a judge over an attorney any day of the week. And number three, when it comes to voting, yes, I understand there are needs for the bylaws to have amendments to them that allow you to vote on smaller projects. This is a huge project. It should require the residents the opportunity to vote on it. It's not $15,000. It's not $20,000. It's $150,000. We should have some input in that. Thank you.
Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. My name is Joanne Sacco, and I'm from Torrey Pines. And I just one thing, you're talking about anything up to $175,000 for a fence that people really don't want. I mean, it's just, you don't want it. But anyway, why don't you as a board and get some residents go visit different areas like Sun City West, how they do their pickleball. They do it, one person was saying how he did it online and set up an appointment for a reservation. That's how Sun City West does theirs. Then they have kiosk machines, they check themselves in. If they have a guest, they take them out, they have to get a wristband, they go in. So why don't you check some of these places out versus, I know you guys said you did, but what information did you get back? Because there's so many out there that have these same functions, and you need to check that out. The second thing is, I thought it was anything over a certain amount of money, and 175 bids, that you need 3 bids. Why are we only going with 1 bid?
We have 5.
Oh, 5 bids?
We have 5 bids.
Oh, I thought you said 1.
No, somebody said 1. We have 5.
Okay.
The board has all that.
Okay, the only other thing I have to say is, these town hall meetings are great. We have a community, if I go down my block, I bet 2 people don't know about this fence thing. We need to have more town hall meetings. You're smiling again. You just smile a lot. Anyway,
I'm a happy person.
Yeah. You save that for your follows. Anyway, people know what's going on. They think the pickleball people want this fence. They're not the ones that want this fence. It's 3 women started this stupid thing, and this is what and one was very demeaning in the last town hall to a gentleman that knew his business. Anyway, I think we need more town hall meetings to tell these people, look at the group we have here. They're interested. A lot of people do not know what's going on. They'll be interested when there is a, what do you call it? Not a preservation fee, but that other fee that has more money on our bill. We are the owners, not the owners. We are the owners here. We are the residents here. We need to know what's going on in our community because everybody's very complacent. And until these town hall meetings started, a lot of people didn't even know about this stuff. And they need to advertise it better. They need to put brochures in when they come into the admin buildings. We just need to know as residents because we are the one paying the fees here. The board members are too, but we're the one that our HOA fees are coming out. We need more town hall meetings, and you can stop smiling at me.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Shelley Logan. I know how to use a mic.
Good for you.
Just speak right in, guys. I'm in Mountain View Estates, and I want to say that I too have been on a board and as a president, and I think this board should be delighted with the turnout that you have here of the people who care about Westbrook Village and that have an opinion on this. And I appreciate Tim Davis following the bylaws and our rules and regulations and our documents. They may not be ideal, but they are what they are. And the judge has also been very astute and clear about what our requirements are. And that too is very important information that I feel our board needs to stop. You have a group of people in your neighborhood, the people you represent are questioning the fence. They haven't all said, no, we don't want it. They haven't all said, we love it and we hope you'll do it soon. We've gone this long. We can go a little longer without the erection of the fence, with more data, more camera information, more input, more bids, more specs, more drawings, more meetings before you say yes or no to the fence.
Thank you.
Candace Isherwood, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Fairway Springs. I wasn't going to speak today, but I have to. When somebody, mentions and calls me out as belittling someone, I just want the board to know I support the fence. I support your yes. I'm not going to go tit for tat on who was rude and who wasn't. I know personally how I felt, and that's the important thing. When I walked back and the things and comments that were said, I am not going to bring it up here. It's not the forum, but I want to thank the board for all their hard work. Thank you.
Thank you. Folks, I'm going to wind this down here now. I'm going to allow you to speak, and I'm going to close this, okay? Thank you.
Hi, Laura Blavell, Eagle Ridge. I'm very nervous to speak right now. I may even cry. This has been a really difficult situation for many, many people. One of my main concerns is how our board follows our bylaws, our CCNRs, and our policies. One of the things that we've been talking about is the difference between maintenance and, a new project, that type of thing. There's been lots of discussion about it. There's been said that you cannot do anything over $20,000 without the approval of the residents.
I have a question for you because my concern about the following of the bylaws is valid. I have an example of it, and if I am wrong, please tell me. But there was over $20,000 that was spent on cornhole, and that was never put to the community and was passed only by the board. Thank you.
Okay, with that, that's the end of community discussion on this. We have a motion before the board, and I wish to call it to a vote, please. Mr. Allen, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Miller? Can somebody read the motion for me, please?
The motion was to approve Service Direct Landscaping in the amount of $101,000, $101,205, plus a 10% contingency, made by Amy Miller, seconded by Max Allen.
Okay, thank you. Max, you voted yes?
Yes, I did.
Okay, Ms. Miller?
Amy Miller votes yes.
Mr. Bernier?
I vote no because we have other bids that are far less money as well on this project that I don't think we've reviewed, and as well as the design is insufficient. Those are my reasons for voting no on this motion.
Can we keep the applause down until we have, please? Thank you. Mr. Merkovich, how do you vote?
Is this on?
No.
Can you all hear me? Yes. All right. To me, what we heard here today, this is a very volatile decision. And hearing both sides of the discussion was important. I've been out and about in the community talking to people, trying to get an opinion one way or the other. I believe we need more data here. Data is important. It helps us make an informed decision. And by listening to all of you and everyone else that lives in this community is important. For that reason, I feel uncomfortable voting one way or the other, and I am going to abstain.
Thank you. Mr. Davis, how do you vote?
I vote no. The board has general authority to make improvements, that's for sure. Therefore, the fence is within the board discretion. But this argument collapses immediately because the general powers cannot override specific powers. Article 6, Section 4 is a specific limitation requiring membership approval on capital improvements. I'm sticking with the bylaws, so I vote no.
Well, unfortunately for Bruce, we have a 2-2 tie. I've been on the fence with this subject for a long time. And this breaks my heart because this has caused a lot of grief with me internally. I've listened to both sides. And I do believe I have a fiduciary responsibility to this association. But even more importantly, I feel I have a responsibility to this community's health and well-being emotionally. And this has been a tough topic for all of us. After listening today in the last couple of days, I do believe that we have not done a thorough enough job investigating this issue and how to address it. This breaks my heart, but I'm voting from my gut here, and Bruce votes no. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to call this meeting to a pause here, a recess, so people may leave if they wish, get a drink of water, get a cup of coffee, and we will move forward. We have a long ways to go yet on this meeting. Thank you for putting up with me through that first hour and a half. We are going to carry on with new business with a preservation fee increase postponement on page 64 of your packet. Board numbers. I'm going to refresh my memory now at this point. I should have done that sooner. I apologize. We had a motion provided by Amy Miller, and I'll read it to you. Motion by Amy Miller. Due to time constraints and the amount of work necessary for preparation, I make a motion to the board of the directors that the community-wide discussion about the proposal to raise the capital preservation fee, including the January 29th, 2026 scheduled town hall meeting, to be suspended until the fall of 2026. I seconded that motion. This was for requesting a unanimous written consent, or am I saying that right?
You're right.
Unanimous written consent. We had 5 board members vote on this and 1 did not return a vote, so it failed. I'm now asking that we're past the point of when the town hall was supposed to occur. I am asking this board to now vote on this issue. Amy, do you want to?
Point of order, please. Because it failed, why didn't we still hold the town hall on January 29th?
Because there was no preparation made for it.
Okay, just to let the people in the audience know that we were ready for the town hall, and so
who was ready?
The town hall chair was ready for it.
Okay.
So my question is why apparently Amy, are you in charge of the capital improvement fee, the town hall portion of it?
No,
No, you're not. Okay. So
I just made the motion as a board.
that's fine. That's fine. So my question is we've known this for a long time. Why weren't we ready?
Is that important at this time?
Well, it's because what happened is that you didn't have an unanimous vote, which you needed. You didn't have it, so we should have had it, or some further explanation. We just can't go on an e-blast and say it's canceled. So we needed to talk about it and find out why. I mean, I could have had it. I mean, it doesn't take that much, We did ask in a prior HOA board meeting. It's not the original time that it was raised. We didn't put it under Maricopa County records, what we still need to do. So if we're going to prepare for it, we need to at least do that. We need to have the last time it was raised, that needs to be recorded, and then we go from there.
Because this is going to be voted on, do we have, can we say something from the input?
Come to the microphone, please.
Bruce, can I make a comment, please?
We have no motion here in front of us. So
I was going to make a motion that my motion would be to postpone the community-wide discussion on raising the preservation fee, the capital preservation fee until fall of 2026.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Further discussion? I will chime in here. I was a member of the Ways and Means Committee, and our committee was the one that put this recommendation forward. Because of the toxic nature of our previous discussion concerning the perimeter fence, I felt it was in our community's best interest to step back from this and let feelings calm down. I was concerned that people would vote against this just out of spite, and I wanted it to be, this is a decision that's very important for the survival of our community, not now, but in our future. So that's why I seconded this motion, and I feel that that is in the best interest of our community right now to postpone this to a later date. Thank you.
I think we should consider postponement until later than the fall, because I believe we were discussing the possibility of a community vote on this as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I think we should consider having that vote be on the ballot at the same time that we're voting on directors.
Well, that is correct. This is
the fall might be a little bit before people get back to the.
I thought that putting it in the fall allowed for a couple of town halls. In the past, when we did increase it, we had a couple of town halls. So I wanted to, make sure that there was time for community education on it.
Yeah, the intent was here is to have the town hall, and yes, it has to go onto the ballot. Okay, and that's why I felt we were being rushed, because I mean the ballot for this year is coming out soon, and I wasn't ready, and I don't think our committee members were quite ready too. So what I think Amy is proposing is just that we're beginning the discussion within the community, and I feel starting the fall fine.
Would you like it better if I rescinded it and just say postpone the community-wide discussion on raising the capital preservation fee for a later date? Would you think that would fly better? Because I'm willing to do that.
I think that was directed at you, Joe.
Yeah, and I'm fine with the way you worded it anyway. I just was trying to understand.
Okay, well, let's leave it as it is. Okay. Yes, sir.
I'm just looking at you because you're just so dapper today.
Thank you, darling. I appreciate it. Any board members have any other conversation? I will open this up to the audience if they wish to speak.
Candace Isherwood, Fairway Springs. You pretty much answered the reason why I'm Bruce.
Okay.
I respect that and appreciate that. I'm just wondering financially, is this a good decision? That's all. I mean, I know there was concern how many houses were being sold, and I think we surpassed our projected number of houses sold. And if that's the case, then there's no rush. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Oh, yes, sir. Mr. Navy, you were next in line. Thank you.
Rick Martinez, I live in the St. Andrews. I would like the board to consider that before you go forward with the preservation fee, would it be helpful that, and I would like to listen to the attorney as well, to have better definition as to what a capital improvement is versus an operational expense, because my personal concern is that that the preservation fee is being used as cost shifting, that we should, as residents, pay for maintenance. Because that's part of the gig, that's part of our responsibilities, to keep the place up, just like homeowners. However, if a new resident is coming in and is going to enjoy the benefits of a capital improvement, let's say, for just pulling it out of the hat, a new theater or that sort of thing, then that should be part of the preservation fee. My concern, and I think this was demonstrated as, you know, what's the definition of a capital improvement? I didn't hear a clear definition of what that is as opposed to a maintenance. And I think the disagreement that came up was evidence of that. So I would encourage the board to define.
Okay, thank you. Bruce? Yes, sir. Just have a comment. In fact, thank you. I was on one of my answers to the survey for the projection for the next 5 years was to review with the idea of upgrading and modernizing our bylaws, and I will suggest it again in good of the order. Okay, thank you.
So I'm Lynette Jones again from Fairway Springs. And I have empathy that, you know, we need funds to keep running the community and keep it nice. So I'm open to raising fees from time to time. But I think you guys have a better chance of getting preservation fees and other fees raised if you demonstrate a pattern of consistently following bylaws, consistently having transparency, making sure that everybody's getting all the information, doing town halls for information. You know, this giving people 3 minutes to give their opinion about something just really doesn't cut it. You don't get to hear from a lot of people and they don't get to say a lot. So I think there are some practices that if you could change them, people would be more understanding of raises and fees.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, sir.
Paul Schnepsky, I'm Board of States. I would just be careful that we don't leave it open-ended and defer longer than we should. I know a lot about how the general account goes. There's a limit there that's only on your assessment, so you can't increase that at all. The amount of money, we used to be able to transfer some money from the general account to the reserve account, probably can't, isn't enough money to do that anymore. So I think that it's very important that we do increase this fee. I would say next fall, a year from now, so we can get it going and not just leave it open-ended and maybe miss next year.
Okay, thank you.
Paul, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What do you suggest?
As far as what,
The capital improvement fee increase.
how much it would be?
What's your opinion, because you're on the budget committee?
Well, we're going to increase to 5,500. I probably get a 5% automatic increase. So if I were going to do it right now, for a year from now, I'd probably do it 5,750. That would just be 5,000 plus the 5% increase.
Okay, thank you. We're getting in the weeds on this. The motion before us is just to postpone this conversation that we trying to have right now to next fall. Agreed?
You're still handsome.
Well, you're handsomer, so.
Got that going for me.
Any other conversation here? I will call this, will somebody repeat the motion for me, please?
I move that we postpone the community-wide discussion, including multiple town halls, raising the capital preservation fee until fall of 2026.
Okay, with that said, all those in favor, raise your hand, please.
Yes with comment, if I may, as long as we can do it before the next budget meeting.
That's not the timing.
Yeah, no.
And the vote
We
is
have it done by
after.
September or no?
That'd probably be incorrect. No. So that motion passes. All right, next item. New club application, Minnesota State Club of Westbrook. Do we have a representative here from that club?
Tilt up the microphone.
Yes, thank you.
It's all girls.
On a lighter note, I am here to propose a Minnesota State Club for the residents of Westbrook Village. And this, I believe, is my fourth and final step.
Yes.
Karen, thank you.
First, can we get a motion, please?
I apologize, I'm new to this job. I did not get a motion from
I would move.
Max. I don't know why your mic doesn't work, but there you go, now it works.
I would move that we accept the Club of Minnesota. They came before the rec committee, we approved them, and the only question we had at the time from somebody from Florida who's never lived in Minnesota.
Well, hold on, Max, can you finish your motion first so we can get a second?
Yes.
Before we go?
I move that
Okay.
we accept the application of the Minnesota Club.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I apologize for my
No, Max is
mistake.
going to give me a hard time about Floridians being able to join the Minnesota Club. And yes, they can.
Okay.
Thank you.
Our governing documents do require that all clubs are open to all residents, so we had mentioned that at rec.
Certainly want to follow our
Follow our guidelines, as always.
Floor is yours, my dear.
Anything else? Do you need a question? Any questions?
Any questions from the audience?
When do they meet and how often at your place?
Mike, I think Washington State residents may not be able to join. Good question, Mike. I plan to host, or not host, I plan to have about 4 events. Obviously, it's a social committee, so various events from recreation, social, possibly even a volunteering event within Westbrook or the community. So some different events, but hopefully I hope to have at least 4, Mike. Now, a lot of Minnesota people here in Westbrook are snowbirds, so we lose a lot of them. I think April 1st is like the mass exodus of Midwesterners, so hopefully we get one event in March, and then in the fall and winter. So that's my plan, Mike.
Does your club have fees?
There is not a fee to join, but I do understand if we have an event in one of the ballrooms, there is the tulip policy, so there would have to be
Donations.
Correct, a small donation if we host something in one of the ballrooms.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yep. Anything else?
You've done great.
Thanks, Karen. I
Going
appreciate
through all
it.
the committees.
Okay, well, welcome to the Minnesota Club.
With that, I would call this
All clubs have to let
motion
everybody
to
know.
approve the Minnesota Club
Even Washington.
to our Westbrook Village group. To a vote here, all those in favor, raise your hand, please. That passes unanimously. Welcome, Minnesota Club. Okay, it's important for me to acknowledge our past president. She served this board well, and I miss her personally. But she is now an employee of Westbrook Village, and she can no longer sit in this spot. And with her vacating this spot, we have several chairs that are now vacant that we need to fill for a period of about 2 months. So our first one is the ACC committee. And we need to have a chair for that immediately, because you're meeting this month. And my recommendation to the board is that we just appoint Joe Bernier, because he's already placed on that committee and he would be a good fit.
I second that.
Any conversation? Oh, Joe, are you willing to accept this responsibility?
I accept it.
Okay. Any conversation? Is this a voting item?
Yes.
Okay. All those in favor of appointing Joe as ACC chair, please raise your hand, please.
Interim chair.
Excuse me, interim chair, I will amend that. Raise your hand again, I didn't see. Tim, did you vote? Okay, that passes unanimously. Long range planning chair.
Who's the vice chair of that committee?
Does anybody know the vice chair of long range planning?
Max.
Max, are you?
Max is the board appointed.
Okay, Max, you are on that committee.
Got my mouth shut.
Again, in the,
I will try my best.
I will suggest to folks that Max takes his chair on an interim basis, just for the convenience of it at this point.
Second that?
Max, do you accept?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Any conversation? With that, I will call this motion to appoint Max as interim chair for long-range planning. Please raise your hand, please. Mr. Mercury, okay, those opposed?
He raised his hand.
Oh, I have to be looking at you.
Okay,
I'm
well,
sorry. That passes unanimously, thank you.
I know I'm short, but you know.
Yeah, I know, I look right over the top of you. Oh, here it is. Interim Cornerstone Chair. Anybody on that committee, on this board? No. Is it proper to suspend that committee for 2 months?
I would like to suggest to the board that they appoint the staff liaison, being Marcy Renault, for the interim. That is not a requirement by Arizona statute that we have a board member chairing that committee. It's strictly volunteer and money raising. And they have a cornhole tournament coming up. Unless somebody else here would like to volunteer to chair that. That would be Plan B unless somebody else would like it.
Do we have any volunteers? Let's start there first. Does anybody have an objection to Marcy sitting on this position for 2 months?
Donna, get on that.
So I will then put forth the motion that we allow Marcy to chair this on an interim basis for us.
I'll second that.
Okay, any other conversation? Okay, we have 2 seconds. Okay, all those in favor of this, please give me a show of hands. Those opposed?
I'm abstaining.
Okay, that's fair. Thank you, this motion passes. Last but not least, interim technology chair. Again, I'm not aware who's on that committee.
You have a second board member, Mr. Bernier.
Okay, Joe's on that committee, okay.
I nominate Joe for that position.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Max seconds that. Joe?
I accept.
Thank you. Any comments? Okay, I will call this motion to allow Joe Bernier to chair on an interim basis for our technology club, say that again? Committee, I apologize, committee. I said club, didn't I?
Yep.
Sorry. All those in favor, raise your hand, please. Are you gonna vote, Max? Okay, thank you. Any opposed? You need to vote for yourself, Joe?
Do I have to abstain?
No, I'm just kidding. This motion passes. Thank you very much. Okay, on to committee reports. ACC, interim chair, you're on.
All right, ACC agenda is in the packet. We are moving forward, as you know, with our next meeting in February. Currently, I have nothing outstanding to report on.
Thank you. Government relations, Mr. Davis.
Nothing new to report, however. I did some research regarding government relations in regards to our election. And I'd like to make a motion to what was brought up earlier today to allow write-in ballots via e-blast or and written up to the allowable amount of candidates that are running.
This is not an agendized item.
It is. That's my name's right there on committee reports, government relations.
A write-in ballot, would that require a change to the bylaws, please?
No, it's not in the bylaws. The bylaws is silence on the matter.
Well, any addition or amendment to the bylaws to allow it, wouldn't that require some kind of a pre-announcement to alert everybody that we're going to change the bylaws and then held at either the next or the second next meeting?
Well, let's ask our attorney what she thinks of that.
First, may I speak?
First of all, I personally believe write-in candidates should not be allowed. And I will tell you why. We had a deadline that was communicated to all our residents on November 21st of 2025 in an annual assessment letter. That deadline has come and passed, and everybody in this community had the opportunity to put forth their name to run for this board. And I do not feel it is proper to allow new candidates to come in now when we have 4 people that took the time to register their name. Will you please silence the phone? Put their name out there and run for this board. Westbrook has never allowed write-ins. Thank you.
Will you take comments?
Bruce?
In a minute, we're having
This
board
is not
discussion.
an agendized item, therefore the board cannot take a vote on this.
I agree.
So this is unprecedented, to be sure. It's unprecedented that a sitting president had volunteered and then decided to take a position with the association. That is unprecedented as well.
There's a little bit of a glitch in the basis of your argument. There is precedence. We had a sitting board member apply to rerun 1 year, and he turned in his application like 2 or 3 minutes late, and he was denied the ability to run.
It was almost a day late.
It was almost a day late, because he was serving as a posse member, and he was denied the ability to run.
Is there precedent to allow the resigned president to take a chair position as the cornerstone chair? That's never been done.
I don't think she was voted to be a chair. I think she was voted to be the staff liaison.
I sat on the Cornerstone Committee for a year or 2. as the second board member. I'll take the chairmanship. If the board so desires.
Okay, so we're on committee reports, and you had a non-agendized item that would like to be voted on.
So we decided
Back to an agenda.
Max actually said he would take the position of the Cornerstone Chair. That is an agendized item. We can re-vote on that.
Okay, let's do that. Max has offered to sit as interim chair on the Cornerstone Committee. Anybody make a motion to?
I make a motion to allow Max to take the to take care of the Cornerstone Chair position in the interim.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor?
Max, do you accept?
Oh, Max, you said,
Yeah.
I just assumed you accepted, but all those in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, that measure passes, thank you. Now, Tim, I disagree that the motion you made is an agendized item. This is the first that was brought up to me right now, and I have not had a chance to research this or even understand it.
Fair enough. I'm going to send you an email regarding this, and then you can decide if you want to vote on it by email.
Regarding the write-ins, I thought last year on our ballots, we had a place to write in somebody. And I think in open voting, like even the President of the United States, we get to write in somebody if we want.
Never before at Westbrook.
I still think that would require an amendment or a change in bylaws in some fashion.
In a minute. You didn't hear me. I said in a minute. Thank you. I'm going to ask Jessica's opinion on this, because this is a legal matter. If you wouldn't mind. Thank you.
She's here, but it wasn't.
Okay, so when it comes to the issue of write-in candidates, a couple people have said this and they're correct. The governing documents are silent on the issue of write-in candidates. Also, Arizona law, both the Planned Community Act and Nonprofit Corporation Act, say nothing about write-in candidates. So when there's nothing out there, it comes down to policy of the association, and also there's fairness and other timing and other equity kind of issues. But in terms of policy of the association, my understanding is that Westbrook has never allowed write-in candidates. They have not been on the ballot. So to make a change in policy, I believe would require a board vote to actually make that change. So timing wise, I'm not sure how that would play out. I understand this is the last board meeting. This wasn't an agendized item. So if the board wanted to take this up, that would likely require a special meeting of the board if the board wanted to take it up. Now, my personal thoughts on write-in candidates, having practiced in this area for so long and seeing how these things play out, a couple points. From a fairness standpoint, I don't think, I mean, as Bruce mentioned, there's a deadline for candidate submission that has been strictly enforced in this community. How is that fair to people who actually met the deadline? Also, the Meet the Candidates night is already set for, I believe, next week. Candidate bios have gone out. If this was going to be a change made to association policy, it should be brought up not, 6 weeks before the annual meeting. And of course, the example Amy gave of someone who had submitted to be a candidate a day after the deadline and was denied. So, I mean, this deadline has been enforced. In addition, there is a legal argument. I don't know, I've not seen this actually raised, so I don't know how it would play out, but I think it's a good one. Under the statute, ARS 33-1812, the absentee ballot statute, each person should have the same opportunity to vote for and against each item. Now, in an election of directors, if you have a write-in candidate, everyone's ballot could look different. Also, what happens with write-ins, and I've seen this happen, under the statute, ballots are irrevocable. So once you submit your absentee ballot, you can't get it back, just like when you used to vote by those little ballot sucking machines. Once it was sucked in, you can't get it back out. And once you put your ballot in the mail now, you can't get it back. So the scenario of people are casting their votes, and then someone's like, ooh, I'm gonna be a write-in candidate. Well, now the office isn't into, well, I wanna revoke my ballot. I wanna vote for this person now. It causes headaches, administrative issues. Also the concern of if someone comes on as a write-in later down the process, the association needs to verify that person's actually eligible to run. So you could have people writing in names of people who are not even eligible to run. Do we count those? What do we do with those? So this is why, in my opinion, all these reasons are why most associations adopt a policy saying we don't allow write-ins. I think it's in the best interest of the association for all these reasons. It is a board decision, but since it is not current policy, in order to make that change, the board would have to have a special meeting to vote on that.
Do we have a written policy on elections? Karen, do we have a specific policy, written policy on elections?
We have our documents on deadlines, but not on write-ins because it's never been allowed.
Well, you're saying it's never been allowed. It sounds like it's never been talked about before.
Maybe not. Well, if the ballot is going to be changed, my understanding is there's kind of a form type of ballot that gets utilized every year. So if there's going to be a major change made to that, that would be a board decision. The board can choose to vote on this. I'm not saying this is, I don't think it's a good idea. I'm with Bruce right away where I'm just like, nope. As soon as someone says write-in candidates, I think to myself, I have seen all these issues arise over the years with write-in candidates. I would not recommend it, but it is a board decision if the board wants to take it up.
Nancy, go ahead, speak.
I'm up to the microphone.
You need to come to the microphone though, so we all can hear.
Just a quick, Nancy Millard, Oakmont Heights. Quick question. When you guys approved electronic voting, didn't you talk about, I mean, what did that come under, voting? Was it a policy? What did you do? How did you change it from handwritten ballots to electronic? Because to me, if that was changed, why can't we change something else? That was done last year.
Okay, thank you.
My question, maybe you could clear that up?
Jessica, will you respond to that for me, please?
Yeah, I think we're saying the same thing. The board can make these changes, but it's a board vote. And right now, we are at a point where if that was going to happen, given there's no other board meetings before the annual meeting, is that accurate?
That's correct.
Okay. So there would have to be a special meeting. So the board, we're all on the same page. The board could vote to do this. I recommend against it for all the reasons I've gone through before, but they could take it up if they wanted to.
The IT committee made a recommendation last year to the board and the board voted on it.
Okay, we are on a non-agenda item here, so speak quickly, please.
Okay, Lynette Jones again, sorry. I would ask you to all to think about when we vote, we think about the composition of the board and how those people are going to work together, can they work together, and what their background and their experience is, and whether there's a good balance on the board. You know, we lost Marcy. I have a very high opinion of Marcy. And, you know, when I initially looked at the 4 candidates, in my mind I was thinking, oh, Marcy will keep it straight. Marcy knows what to do. I have confidence in Marcy. Now that Marcy's gone, I don't know these other candidates. So I just want you to think about what...
Okay, thank you for your comment. I appreciate it. Thank you. Joy, let's make it quick, please.
Yeah. Joy, St. Andrew's Place. I feel like I was going to vote for Marcy. So I feel my vote has been taken away of the person I wanted to vote for. So because of that situation, I think we should have a chance to have a write-in.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Tim, do you have anything else to share with government relations?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. Technology Committee, Mr. Allen, or no, I'm sorry. Joe, I'm sorry. Joe.
I have nothing to report right now, although with the voting coming up, and I know that our last Information Technology Committee chair worked closely with staff on the ballot. I'll be doing the same thing with staff as well with the ballot coming up.
Okay, thank you. Landscape Facilities, that's me. We met last month. So everybody here knows we're in discussion about xeriscaping certain areas of our community. We're in discussion about possibly developing a certain stretch of road here on, man, my brain is fried. Lakeview. So people can see an example of what we would like to do. I encourage you, if you have feelings about this, to show up at our meeting, which is next Wednesday. Feel free to show up, and we'll listen to you. Thank you very much. Next is Cornerstone.
Long range plan.
I'm sorry, LRP.
The report is in your binders.
Microphone, that's.
Report is in your binders. I was just hunting for it to see if there's, I'm gonna call on Paul. Is there anything that I should mention?
I'd say nothing to report. There'll be more stuff going on between now and the next.
Okay, I do know that the survey final day was yesterday, Today is the last day. I finally figured out how to do it, and mine is yesterday.
Thank you.
That's it.
Okay, thank you. Cornerstone.
I am not up to date on Cornerstone, but I understand there's a tournament coming in. And I will have a better report next time.
You're referring to Cornhole tournament, correct? Yep.
Yes.
Okay, Personnel Committee, Mr. Merkovich.
I understand our microphone. I don't know if mine works. Try.
Press it over the button.
Is this working?
No. The other way.
Hello? We recently lost our compliance person, so the community is in the throes of looking for a replacement. Thank you.
Rec Committee, Mr. Allen.
Report is in your binder. There was nothing substantial that took place. We did approve and sent on to the board, which we voted today on the new club. Other than that, there was not much going on.
Thank you. Town Hall, Mr. Davis.
The town hall on the perimeter fence was highly attended, and I don't have an account of how many people actually that came, but at one time somebody said some between 300 and 400 people that came. That being said, I think it's a valuable tool, and I appreciate everybody that participated. Thanks.
Okay, Ways and Means. I have a Ways and Means thing I have to get here. Okay. You heard my report, so there, but I want to inform, I have a statement here that I've written. I want to inform our residents and the board that our accounting firm, Colby Management, has been placed on a 90-day review. This lack of performance has resulted in poor customer service for Westbrook residents and has hindered the operations of the Ways and Means Committee. If meaningful improvement in customer service and financial reporting is not delivered, Westbrook Village will look for another firm. Before I tell you Colby's and his parent company's response, let me summarize the two primary reasons for why Colby is under review. Number one, poor response to Westbrook residences. Our administrative office has received many calls from Westbrook Village residents stating they can't get a hold of Colby staff to address their concerns, particularly when it comes to paying their annual assessment. This complaint was verified, unfortunately, by a Colby senior executive who couldn't even get in contact with his own customer service people by using the same procedure that we're required to do. Number 2, lack of response and communication regarding an accounting system change which occurred this summer with our staff. As a result, monthly financial reports were delayed by up to 30 days, and there were numerous inaccuracies in budget classifications. Colby staff was not always promptly available for corrections and clarifications, and this caused extreme frustration with Westbrook management and even the Ways and Means Committee. However, there's good news. It appears that Colby is serious about improving its performance. Senior management in Colby has been replaced, including the president and key accounting personnel. The new Colby president, Lane Powell, has extensive experience in Arizona HOA management experience. Excuse me, my brain's fried. Let me start over. The new Colby president, Lane Powell, has extensive Arizona HOA management experience, and initial meetings with Powell have been encouraging. Additional resources have been invested in customer services. We have a written commitment from senior executive of Colby's parent company, Associa, for improved accountability, transparency, and follow-through. It is my belief as treasurer of Westbrook Village that Associa is committed to restoring our confidence in the days to come. Thank you. Are there any questions? Thank you. Golf Club, Mr. Merkovich, any report?
I was not at the meeting. Marcy, were you there? Would you like to speak to that, please?
It was a good meeting with them. There's not a lot of issues going on right now between us and the golf course, so it was...
The survey.
Yeah, the survey that was done was really the only thing that was discussed.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Manager's report.
In your binders, page 88.
Can you use your microphone, please?
Sure. 88 through 91.
For one short microphone.
Any questions for us?
I have none. I think we're all exhausted. So I will call for the good of the order. If anybody has any business to share with us, Bruce would welcome it for sure.
Okay, Bruce.
Maybe some of you others would too. Yes, sir?
I would like to ask that we put the item I mentioned earlier on the agenda for the next meeting, or to go to a committee, whoever is responsible for bylaws and CCNRs, and we take a look at the bylaws and see if they do need updating or modernization of some kind. And since that's the only thing we can change, they need to be fully explicit as to what we do.
Okay, thank you.
Are you asking bylaws or all the governing documents?
Well, there's not much we can do about the CCNRs. So the other governing body documents, yes. What other ones are there besides the bylaws? Because I don't have all of them, I guess.
Okay. Thank you, Max. Yes, ma'am.
I just want to say that to Marcy, you did a wonderful job being the president of this board. You ran things very smoothly, and I think we all appreciated it. And thank you for all of that, and good luck with your new position. All right, that's all. Thanks.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Candace Isherwood, Fairway Springs. For the good of the order, I just kind of want the board to think, what are the next steps? I'm a little confused as to the motion that was voted on. It said, and if we can have it read back, but were we voting on the SDL bid, or were we voting on the actual approval of the fence? Could you read the?
Well, it was both, and it failed.
Excuse me, you were voting on both?
Correct.
Okay, I just wanted to.
To install the fence and the contractor. That is all in the motion.
Okay, I just wanted that
Okay.
clarified. Thank you. One more thing, just the next steps in the process. Whatever they are, I think we would like to know what they are. You know, is there going, I heard from the lawyer some of the proper steps, so I'm just wondering if the board has a timeline on this, because, you know, I was the one that came up and said, let's put a lid on it either way, and that's not gonna happen, so I just hope you're conscious of the process being communicated to the public and the time.
Okay, thank
That's
you very
all.
much.
Thanks.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Jim Keller again, Secretary Point. Jim, I just want to compliment you, board. And particularly this last town hall meeting you had. Bruce, you did an excellent job of presenting this fence. I've been in some different meetings on that. That was by far the best presentation I've seen on what was involved in that border fence project. Or not the border fence, I mean, but the pickleball fence. So I want to compliment you on that. And Marcy did an excellent job of doing coloring and liability. So I think we could use more town hall meetings like that. It was very, very good, and I just want to compliment you on that.
Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you for enduring 3 hours and 10 minutes of meeting. I call this meeting adjourned.
And I just wanted to thank you for Jessica.
Hold
attending our
on,
meeting.
Max. I didn't mean to cut you off, Max.
Sorry. To the question of what's next, I think the board's going to take a breathing spell. I'm going to sit back and check the new board coming in, ask them that question. I think that they're the ones that need to make the decision on what's next.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you. With that, I call this meeting closed. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming, Jessica.